So hello everyone, especially to you ma'am. We are the group 7 and we'll be discussing the problem solving and creativity. My name is Mary J. is Almudin and I will be the first presenter for this topic. So first, what do you think is problem solving? So problem solving refers to cognitive processing directed at achieving a goal for which the problem solver does not initially know a solution method. So for example is baking a cake without an egg. So your goal is to bake a delicious cake, but you don't have any solution yet, so you don't know how to bake a cake without an egg. So it is like your brain's working to figure out on how to solve the problem, even though you don't have a clear solutions at mind at the start. So that is the problem solving. So the problem solving has a four major elements. So for the four major elements, we have the cognitive, processed, directed, and the personal. So first, let's talk about the cognitive. So cognitive occurs when the problem solver's cognitive system and can only be inferred directly from the problem solver's behavior. I only provided here a one example, which is it is applicable for the four major elements. So first, for example, you are learning like reading a textbook, speaking with a tutor, or writing a sentences. So that is all for the cognitive. Now let's proceed to the process. So for the process is you have involves mental computations in which an operation is applied to a mental representation. So a brain's calculations and use of mental pictures of the language, associating them with their meanings. Like for examples, you are learning annyeonghaseyo. So you are learning now the basic words for Korean and trying to associate them with their meanings and figure out how to use them in simple sentences. So now we are done for the process. Now let's proceed for the directed. So for the directed is we have aim at achieving a goal. So for the directed daw is you are trying na to focus the efforts towards the goals of learning Korean. So you're taking a steps na like reading, listening, speaking, and writing to learn the language. So speaking, for example, is katong mga basics nga mga na-learning mo sa cognitive sa process is imo na siya try na mo siya to speak. Sa achieving a goal directed is if you are learning mangod something like a language is ang first nimo ana nga i-try o kanang translate or sulat is your name. So like writing ana, you are started to write your name in a Korean language na. So imo na siyang i-spell, imo ang name dito sa paper which with your name nga kon siya translated siya into Korean. So next, after the directed, we have the personal. So for the personal, it depends on the existing knowledge of the problem solver. For this one, it is your unique styles on learning the language. Like this one, you are learning a Korean, so you have a unique ways on how to learn this language. So how you learn Korean will depends on your personal learning style. So mao na siya for the four major elements of the problem solving. Again, we have the cognitive. Next is we have the process. Next is the directed, and last is the personal. Now let's proceed to the next topic. Now for the next topic is we have the two types of problem. We have the well-defined problem and the ill-defined problem. So first, let's start with the ill-defined problem. So ill-defined problem, according to Robertson, 2015, it provides all the information required to solve it. So it is like a recipe with a clear instruction, so you know what to do and you know what the outcome should be. So mao na siya ang sa well-defined problem. So kabalo ka sa imong gihimo, kabalo ka sa imong himuon, and you also know what is the outcome sa imong gihimo. Next is we have the ill-defined problem. According to Robertson, so it is where the initial state of the problem is given but what the goal state look like is not provided, which is a very opposite siya sa well-defined problem, since this one good is it lacks goals, instructions, or ways to measure success. So this one is kanang alanganin, since you don't know what you are doing and you don't also know what kanang sa outcome. So for the another topic, after the two types of problem, we have the approaches to problem solving. Again, we have two, which we have to approach, the behaviorist approach and the gestaltist approach. For the behaviorist approach is we have reproducing a previous behavior to solve a problem. So for this ones, it's about learning by doing and repeating behaviors that have been rewarded in the past. For example is, I don't know if all of us have experienced this, but way back when we are elementary, kanang if ma perfect score, which is at ang 100 na to, before, is paliton siya sa ato ang parents. Like for example, 5 pesos or 10 pesos, it depends. So, after knowing nga, imo ang hard work is ma-paid off ra siya, which is paliton ra pud siya somehow para manikamot ka 100 para na pud paliton na pud siya sa imo ang parents. So, ing ana siya, it's like understanding how people and animals learn and act. So, for example, pud sa dogs, kana ngon ka sa dog nga sit, and then mo sit sila, and then after that, is tagaan nimo sila og treats. So, mutatakto siya sa utok sa iro, o sa ila ang hunahuna nga, if they follow your order, is naa sila treats nga madawat afterward. Since behaviorist approach is all about the awards. So, that's for the behaviorist approach. Next is we have the Gestaltist or Gestaltist approach. So, for this one, problem solving is a productive process. So, for this one, it's about seeing the big pictures, understanding the relationships between different elements, and using the understanding to create a solution. So that is for the Gestaltist approach. It's about the understanding the whole picture. So for example, when you see a group of friends nga they are laughing, expression sila mga nawo nga nalipay, you are not just about focusing that. If sa Gestaltist approach nimo siya i-apply, is you have to see down nganong happy to sila nga friends. Unsay reason na ba jokes or nabay katawanan, unsay klase nga katawanan ang reason nga para mga tawas laging ato ka kusog or ing ato ka energetic. So mo na siya ang sa Gestaltist approach. So that's all for the behaviorist and the Gestaltist approach. Now let's proceed to another one, which is the problem solving cycle. So again, for the problem solving cycles, we have at least 5 steps for the 1 to 5 steps. So for the step 1 is we have the identifying the problems and opportunities, which is initially identifies the problem and the potential problem. So for this one, and again, for the second time, I only use provided one example which is applicable siya for all the problem solving cycle. So for the ang problem is you're hungry. So ang opportunity ana is you can satisfy your hunger with a tasty and a healthy snack. So sa step 2 is define goals. So it requires you to carefully define the goals in the problem solving situation. So your goal is find a quick, easy, and somewhat healthy snacks to eat. Ang step 3 is explores possible strategies, which is involves looking back at your goal and finding possible strategies to solve the problem. So for this one is kanang the strategy is check the store for pre-made snacks or your pantry, like crackers that will satisfy again your hunger, or make a quick snack like toast or kanang yogurt or Quaker, basta as long as that it can satisfy your hunger. So muna siya ang mga possible strategies nga na consider. Next, for the step 4 is anticipate outcomes and act, which expectation is the solutions of the problem. So for this one, ang mo anticipate is store or pantry are the quickest but might not be the healthiest. So it depends also for the kind of snacks that you are going to make. So making something takes more time but offers more control over ingredients. So muna siya ang kanang murag advantage sa pantry but also not the healthiest. And again, it depends kind of snack you are going to made. Ang imong act is choose a strategy based on your time, budget, and preference. Next is we have the look back and learn. So it is the evaluations of the actions or solutions implemented. So for this one, was the canteen or the pantry food satisfying? Muna siya ang question. So did it meet your need? Katong mga foods nga imong gipamalit, it depends atong choices nga imong gipamili sa 1 to 4 nga step. Or was it quick and easy to buy or to make? Ang learning ani niya is if you find it too much time consuming, so you might choose a pantry next time. If it wasn't satisfying, you might buy a different snack next time. Next, which is the last one, is we have the barriers to problem solving. So for the barriers to problem solving, we have at least 3. So first, we have a mental set, which is when a person becomes fixated on one strategy that previously produced the right solution, but it didn't work in a new situation. For examples, again, I have provided here an example, is trying to open a door. So, always push the doors to open. But this time is different. Kaya kailangan na nimo siyang i-pull. So, use man to a door nga, imo ang siyang i-push. But this time is, kailangan nimo siyang i-pull, but you don't know how to do. So, you are stuck on the mental set. For the next one is we have the functional fixedness. So individual fails to recognize that objects can have other purpose aside from traditional use they were made for. So for this one is using a paper clip to pick a lock. So you're locked out for your house and only have a paper clip. So you could use the paper clip to try and unlock the door. But that time is you don't know nga ato di siya nga paper clip, a simple paper clip is not siya another purpose. So for this one is you are experiencing functional fixedness. Next is we have failure to distinguish relevant and irrelevant information. So for this one, individuals cannot discern the relevance informations needed in planning the strategy to solve a problem. So I have again here an example. So for this one is kanang you are doing some outing. So you are trying to follow a directions to a new place, but you are getting lost. So you're struggling to distinguish relevant and irrelevant information. Instead nga mag-focus, dahil kay sa ing ato, dapat nag-focus ka to mga important details like sa street, kung asa ka nga street padulong diha nga place, or street names and landmarks. So dapat katuro siya nga mga important details ang imo ang timan-an in order for you to reach to your destination na gusto nimong adtuan. So muna siya ang failure to distinguish relevant and irrelevant information. So that's it for now. And the remaining topic will be discussed with my co-presenter, which is Miss Mia Sibalios, and that would be on the next video.
Morning everyone. So my name is Maya Joy T. Sibalios. So I am the second presenter of Creativity in Problem Solving. So creativity in problem solving, mental set in problem solving. So when we say mental set, so stuck in one way to solve a problem. So for example, if you always use a hammer to fix things, then you might overlook or taas na imong oras. So unless you using a glove for repair that fix things, kay kanang para dili ra taas imong oras is you always put in your mind na mental set is stuck one way to solve a problem. So imong mental set is already set that fix the things is one way, stuck one way. So you stuck in using hammer instead na magamit kag lain na to repair the fixed things. Kay imong mental set is na fix in one way to solve a problem. So, next is what is creativity? So, creativity is interaction among process and environment individuals. So, it is the ability to think of new or unique ideas or solution. It means you using an imagination to do that things in a better way or different way. So for example is if you don't have a vase for your flowers, then you have idea and you have idea na pwede ang empty bottle or jar na mahimong vase para sa imong flowers. This is varied theories. First is developmental theories. So advocates that creativity develops over time. So how a person's ability to do creative changes and grow over time. So for example, young children are natural imaginative. So like drawing, then without worry about rules. So as they grow, they will start to more creative and more focused on how to solve a problem. So show how creativity it grows and changes as people more different life stages from simple imagination to complex problem solving to solve. Next is cognitive theory of creativity. So idea processes are fundamental creative person. So suggest that creativity comes from how our idea process information makes connection between different ideas. It focuses on mental process, memory, thinking, and attention. So for example is when an artist creates a painting, then he forgot bring a gray colors, then he think that the color white and black is perfect to combine and mahimo siyang color gray. So ang artist kay naa siya'y cognitive theory of creativity, a stage and componential process of creativity. So point out the creative expression proceed. The process can have linear and recursive elements. It highlights the importance of preparation, incubation, and insight, and the last is verification in creative thinking. So, for example, is learners have a step-by-step procedure. Next is the several processes. First is fluency, ability to produce a great number. So fluency is ability to come up with a lot of ideas quickly. It's about generating a large number of ideas or solution in a short amount of time. So for the example is the learners is quickly suggests a 10 ideas and the non-fluency is might come up with only 2 or 3 ideas before running of time. So next is flexibility. So ability to simultaneously propose a specific problem. So flexibility is important because it allows you to look at problems idea doesn't work, you can easily switch to other, helping you stay open to new possibilities. So for the example of flexibility in creative is you have a plastic bottle. Instead of through it, learners can suggest many ways of using them. So it can be used for wall decoration. So next is originality. So it's important because it leads to new ways of thinking. It pushes creativity beyond what is already known. So for the example is a learners who give us a new ideas without the same with other learners is that a originality. They ihara jung kuan sa learners, ihara jung knowledge to think. Is elaboration. So elaboration is ability to organize details of ideas. So for example is a learners is mo bake siya og cake. Then the first procedure is mix the ingredients. Then next is taste the ingredients, and the last is the result, or the result if perfect ba iyang pagkagama. Process. So first is preparation, which motivates you to gather materials. So second is the incubation, unconsciously continues to work ideas. So the third is illumination, sudden ideas pop out in mind. So the last is verification. It can be tasted once proven. 4 steps of creative process. It can be help the learners step-by-step procedures. Learning in problem solving and creativity. So first is the near transfer and the far transfer. So near transfer and far transfer is learners apply knowledge and skill situation. So for example is if you know how to bake a chocolate cake, you can easily bake a vanilla cake also by the following step because the similar steps are closely related. So next is the positive and negative transfer. So learners use prior knowledge, use problem. For example of positive transfer is if you know how to drive a car, then you already know how to drive a truck is easier because the basic control are similar. And the negative transfers example is if you used to drive on the right side of the road, then you quickly switching to left side of the road, then the people drive on the left side might confuse on you because ikalit ramang kag kuan kalit ra kag switch on the left side na dili man nimo to dalan unta. So mo na siya naka-negative transfer na nanit ni kuan ka kanang ni switch ka in the left road imbes nara ka sa right road. So the next is the vertical transfer and the lateral transfer. Learners use low level to higher level. For example is all learners use low level thinking to high level thinking to solve a problem. From the easy to difficult level of thinking. And the last is the neutral or zero transfer. Past learning does not enhance new skills. So for example is problem solving a puzzle doesn't help in solving a different type of puzzle. Identical elements. So maintain quality past and new situation. For example is a person who knows how to drive a car with a manual transmission can easily transfer that skills to driving a different manual car at the same time because making it easily to learn. So next is the theory of generalization. Skills transferable to other situations. So for example is learners have a good communication skill in one job like explaining ideas. It can help to another job also even if the specific tasks are different. Last is the theory of configuration. Emphasize the important role perceptions. For example is learning to ride a bike can help you learn to ride a bicycle because both involve balancing. So this theories say that if two situations have a similar instructions or what you learn in one situation can help in the another situation also. Classroom application of cognitive learning theories. First is ask student if understand the problem. Second, encourage attempts problem from different angles. Third is do not just hand them solutions. Fourth is help students to develop systemically ways. And the last is encourage them use analogies, solve a problem. Strategies in teaching. First is accept and encourage divergent thinking. Second is tolerate dissent. And the last is encourage students trust their judgment. Teaching learning strategies. First, keep families informed about their children. Second, give families idea, encourage their children. The third is show connection in school and life. And the last is partner with families, practice learning strategy. And that's all for today. Thank you.